Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. Okay, so I always say this. I hate this story. So, but this was a funny part of the story. So now I'm going to tell you. Okay, so now it's 1983. Ryan Molese has been charged with 3 counts of murder, and he faces 30 to life on each count, plus insurance fraud and a bunch of other stupid shit that he did. So now we're going to trial. Now let's see. In '83, I was 29, and I was working for the DEA on a major Medellin drug cartel, and I was undercover for I think 3 or 4 years. But I digress. But I just want you to know, when I went to trial, I was a DEA informant, and now I'm going to be in the media, and I knew that, and we're going to get into that story too. But this is a funny story. You want to laugh? You want to laugh? You want to laugh? Can't hear you. You want to laugh. This is a funny story. Now, I am always, since I was a little kid, I always had an imagination. And I was dreamer-like. And anything that I could physically do in my dreams, like, of course, I used to dream that I was Superman and I could fly. I used to watch the TV show Superman with George Reeves. And I didn't jump out the window with a towel on my neck, but anything that was possible that I thought up in my mind, I did. And a lot of it was dangerous. So, okay, we're in 1983, and this is the second day of Brian Molese's trial. Now, we are in Bergen County Superior Court, and it's located in Hackensack, New Jersey. Now, the court back then, there was no metal detectors to go through. The court building looked like, can you give me a picture of the Bergen County, New Jersey courthouse? My beautiful assistant on the side, doing all these things as I make them up. Not make it up, but I did. So, yeah. So, this is the Bergen County court building. And this up here is where they had the court. The courtrooms are up on top. So it looks like the White House. So this is the second day of trial. Beth had already, no, you know what? I take that back. No, this is before the trial started. This is before the witness. This is like the day they're doing preps to have the witness. The trial's going on, and then boom, they call. Now it's time to call witnesses. First witness they called was my wife, Beth Marr. Boom, she was going to go first. They only expected her to do a half a day, but it went into the whole day. So she was. So anyway, I'm digressing. This is the first day of him making an appearance to start the trial procedure. And I'm there. This is 1983, and I'm there in a 3-piece white suit, looking like this, what is it called? Saturday Night Fever. Like John Travolta. I had that suit on. I had that, except I had the trip. I had the vest and everything. So I just wanted to see this prick. Now, I haven't seen this guy. This is 1983. I haven't seen him since 1975, since he solicited, which is the last day that I saw him was the day he solicited me to euthanize his wife. Euthanize his wife. Who fucking says things like that? I'll tell you who. This fucking prick right here. So, I fucking hated him. I wanted to kill him. So, we're outside the courtroom. Now, the courtroom is like the White House. It has a circular, it's circular, like I showed you, like the White House. circular, and you can look down 5 stories. Boom, 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 boom. You could look over and see the first floor from up there. And they had 2 elevators, one on each side. So I'm at court the first day, and I want this prick to see me. Now, of course, through discovery, he knew I was on the witness list. He knew I was number 1. Number 2 was Beth, and I don't know who the fuck else they had. They really now it was my testimony that fucking convicted him. That ultimately convicted him. So this is the first day. So we go to court, and then the judge says, "Okay, bring him up, recess for 15 minutes or whatever." So me, Dennis Callow, the detective that worked the Iceman, Donnie, I think, I don't know, I forget his name. He was a member of the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, and Dennis Callow. So the 4 or 5, then there was other detectives too. All the detectives were, now we're outside the courtroom. These 2 big deputies, correctional officers, one got big black guy. I remember the big black guy was like fucking, he was like buff. And the other guy was big too, black and white guy. And they come out the door, and Frank Del Preti, which was the leading homicide investigator, says, "Are you going to get him?" And they go, "Yeah." And they walk right past me, and they get into an elevator. They get into an elevator. And I said to Frank, "Are they going to bring him up in this elevator?" So this court was so old-fashioned. It wasn't security, man. The detention center was on the first floor, or maybe even the basement. It was that's where they held them, and they would lock them up. They would put them in a belt with handcuffs and shackle their feet, their ankles, and then we go down and get them, bring them up. So they tell me, they go, "Yeah, they're gonna go get them." And I said, do they have a back door? Like most courtrooms have a back or side doors where the defendant comes out and he says, and then when he's done with court, he goes right there. He doesn't have to go through the public corridor like the Bergen County Superior Court has. So I'm learning all of this as we go down, and my wheels are turning. I want to punch this fuck in the face for what I'm about to. Like the next day, I talked Dennis Callow while I was waiting for my wife's testimony the first day. I wanted to see the homicide photos, Chris. For the past 4 years, he wouldn't let me see them. He wouldn't let me see them, and so now, don't forget, I have the power. I'm like, they need me. Like, they don't want to piss me off. So anyway, I digress again. So anyway, I wound up getting to see the photographs while Beth was testifying the first day. She was only supposed to do a half day, but wound up the whole day. So I'm in Dennis Callow's office, and I'm looking at all these. And I'm not gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that story. I'm gonna get to that story. Well, this is just so surreal. It's so surreal. You know, I have a beautiful daughter, and remember her when she was a baby. You know, I can't imagine hurting a child. Never mind doing what he did. So I wanted to break fucking balls, and nobody was going to stop me. Nobody was going to tell me what the fuck to do. Remember, I'm not a CI working off a case with a fucking handler can tell you whatever the fuck to do, and you got to bow to him. Not me. I'll fucking do whatever the fuck I want, and they know me now. Now all these detectives and the prosecutor, they know me. They know me, and I can honestly say I think they all loved me. They all thought I was like, wow, this guy's like off the chart. Where did he come from? So now I know that the 2 deputies went down to get him, and they're going downstairs. They're going to hook him up, and they're going to bring him up, and they're going to put him right. They're going to put him in that elevator, and he's going to walk right out of the elevator. So what do I do? Now we're all standing. There's a group of like 8 of us, like detectives, prosecutors, other DAs. Other DAs were in the court, they call them prosecutors in New Jersey. They were in the courtroom because they wanted to learn how to do a murder trial. Big crowd outside. So the elevator is here. This is my thing at the elevator. The courtroom's over here. And as I said, it's circular. And you can look over. I wanted to throw that prick right off the fucking balcony. Anyway, but that's not what my plan was. So this is the elevator. This is the courtroom. And it had a big, heavy wooden bench. Wooden old bench. And it must have been 10 feet fucking long. 10 feet long. So I want you people to think, what the fuck did I do with that bench? In the courtroom, the fucking courthouse. What do you think I did with that bench? And time's up. That's it. It's up. I'm going to tell you what I did with that bench. I walked over to the bench in front of all those officials, and I pulled it. And I pulled it. It must have been 10, 15 feet from the elevator. I pulled that fucking bench, and I lined it up. Now, I have ADD. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But if I'm the type of guy that if I come in and I see that picture is crooked, fuck, man, I got to straighten it. If you got a rug with one of those hassle things, I got to comb it out. I can't stand, I got to be. So they're watching me. Hey, what are you doing? You can't do that. Nah, fuck that. I'm putting, leave me alone. Leave me alone. They must have thought I was crazy. I was fucking crazy. I mean, some of the things I did, go buy the book. You fucking, I tell these stories now. I'll be 70 next month. And I tell these stories now. And I go, what the fuck? I was crazy. I was crazy. I'm pulling the fucking big, heavy fucking bench. And this bench could probably have sat 6 people. It was big. It was old school. It must have been like 50 years old back. It was a big, heavy fucking bench. And I pulled it. And I pulled it. And I lined it up with the fucking elevator. And then I sat down and I said, nope, gotta pull a little bit more. Because I wanted to sit in the middle of that bench, lined up with those elevator doors, so that the first thing that motherfucker sees is my face. When he opened up that door, I'm gonna fucking convict you, bitch. So I line it up, then I want to see how I look. So I sat down in the bench. I walked over to the closed elevator doors, turned my back to it. No, gotta come. Now, meanwhile, Dennis, Franco Preti are looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. What the fuck is he doing with that bench? What is he doing? Now, I was dressed in I don't know if I said it in a 3-piece white suit. I looked like John. I didn't look like him, but I had this getup. I had the fucking. I looked badass for the 70s. I mean, the 80s, 83, disco and all that other shit was very strong back then. So I sit down. I get up. I look at the bench. Okay, perfect. I sit in the bench. Got my arm on the back of the bench. Got my legs crossed. And I'm staring so that my face is in the split of the doors. The 2 elevator doors go like this. And they're fucking laughing. What the fuck is he doing? They knew what I was doing then when I sat down and I posed. Dennis goes, he said something, I don't know, here, and he goes back into the courtroom. The 3 other, what is he going to do? Is he going to jump? They didn't give a fuck. They were like, what are we going to do? We can't piss him off because I'm cursed with an Irish temper. And for all you guys that know anything about Irish tempers, it's just a fucking terrible thing. And then when you add this, fuck, then, anyway. So Frank is laughing. The guy that did the Iceman undercover work, I think his name is Dominic. I don't remember. So and they're just standing there watching. Now there's only 2 of them. Dennis to the fucking thing. He's thinking, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? I'm surprised they let me. I mean, I pushed the bench right in front of the guy. So sure enough, it's my impression of an elevator motor. pulling the fucking car up to the fucking. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. See if I do that again. I see him. He's looking down, Molese, and got this big black, big buff. He was like the black guy must have been like Mr. Universe or some shit. Got him. The black guy is on the right. The big white guy is on the left. Molese is in the middle, and each one of those correction officers got him by the elbow while he is in his belt, handcuffs, belt around his waist, and his ankles are shackled. So when the door opens up, that wasn't a very good impression. The door opens up. She's looking down. The two correction officers going, I don't remember seeing a fucking. Don't forget, there's a murderer. These guys got guns and shit. So I'm standing there. The door opens up. Melissa's looking down. He takes his first step with his left foot. I'll never forget this. He takes his left foot. Then he looks up, and we lock eyes. Boom! Now he knew because of the witness list that I was going to testify. So he sees me, and first it's rage. First it's fucking rage. And then it's like, oh, then the bitch came right out of him. And so he starts off with the left foot, and the right foot wasn't working. But the momentum, they were going, and he almost went down. And I was just like this. I said, hey, how you doing, Brian? How you doing, Brian? That's all I should have made up something click. How you doing, Brian? And then the fucking cops turned his whole body around so we could see me. They didn't know what was going on. The fucking bench wasn't there when they fucking left to pick him up 10 minutes ago. So that was the beginning of the trial. How I fucked him up with my John Travolta fucking suit, the bench story. I mean, can you imagine this? When I tell these stories, I imagine it being told on the big screen because I believe it one day will. So anyway, I'm just gonna tell that story, and then so now, I'm gonna get into what happened at trial. Now the judge. Let's talk about the judge. The judge was each county, even in New York, they have a chief justice, like the judge that's in charge of all the judges, and that's the guy that had this case, that was going to try this case, and he was he was an Italian guy, no nonsense, and fucking he doesn't. And they told me, listen, don't ever. The cops tell me, listen, I've been before this judge before, even Dennis Collins. You gotta just fucking dude. What I did to this judge, I don't know. Fuck, he's supposed to be this no nonsense judge. Well, I'll tell you how many times he almost held me in contempt for what I did on the stand, and we're gonna be talking about that on the next video. And I'm gonna do these as fast as I can because I just want to get this story away from me. I don't like it. So please like and subscribe, and it's free. I don't know why nobody that doesn't want to do that. So, but please do that. And if you don't do it for me, do it for my beautiful daughter. Right? Say hi, Kaylee.
Hi.
See, there she is, but you'll never see her on camera. Never. And oh yeah, she's beautiful, all right. I'll see you on the next one. Like, subscribe, and bell, whatever. Fuck. Mwah.